Come on,
Hey, what's up, fellow Starcraft 2 players? This is B-Boy Apache Entertainment, and today's video, I will be demonstrating mech style versus all three races that exist in the Starcraft 2 universe. And I'm talking about the Terran, the Protoss, and the Zerg. So with that said, welcome back to another episode of Mech vs. All, episode 6. I just want to announce that I am recording my audio voice with a new microphone called the Blue Yeti Whiteout for $84 on Amazon during Black Friday. I won't be playing the original audio on this video here because it sounds like shit, like you guys been commenting on my YouTube. So I do read comments, so I want to make sure that I am posting quality content. The reason for my shitty quality was because I had a loud computer that had a fan going on in the background, and my Samsung Media mic keeps picking that up, so I had to wrap towels around it. And the problem with wrapping towels around it is that it makes my voice sound very quiet, but it does stop the fan from being picked up. And one problem was I did not have a arm that extend out and you can attach your microphone on it and position it close to your mouth and things like that. I did not have that, so I placed in my old microphone to the far left side of my screen monitor, and when I play Starcraft and I speak and commentate at the same time, my voice does not sound great. And that basically I had to do like a lot of editing, and that just takes a lot of time, and it's just very not like smart thing to do. So yep, today's video I'm just going to be talking over my first person view gameplay that I did a while back, and just talk about what I do and what's my reasoning behind my actions, and hopefully it helps you guys understand a little bit about the new possible mech styles in Legacy of the Void. So basically, I am just my build order is basically just supply depots from your first SUV that pops out of the command centers, and then a barrack after that, and then a refinery, and then another refinery, and a factory, and a starport, and basically a 1-1-1 build into a command center. I just want to point out in my latest video that I post out is called Important Timing to Know. Number 1, Reaper comes out at 1:57 to 2 minutes mark of the barrack, which is what I claim on that video. And on this video, as you can see, the Reaper came out at 1 minute. No, not 1 minute. It came out at 2 minutes mark. And I also mentioned on that important time to know that the Reaper pops, or not pops. The Reaper arrives at the opponent's base at 2 minutes and 35 seconds to 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So in this case, the Reaper arrives at the opponent base at 2 minutes and 35 seconds, and there you go. That's why it's a very important timing to know. And of course, this Diamond Protoss players knows this timing and was able to be ready for the Reaper with their mothership core and pylons, and just go to work with the Reaper and preventing me from scouting. So because I couldn't scout, I had to use 50 energy to scan and see if he's going to be going for Oracle, or if he was going to be going for something else. In this case, I scanned and I saw his probes moving to the second expansion of his, and that automatically told me, all right, he has a second expansion. There's no Stargate. I'm going to go ahead and push out with my initial Cyclone that was supposed to stay at my first base to defend against the Oracle. But because I knew that there was no Oracle rush, I decided to take action to just go out, push out with my Cyclone and SUVs. 2 SUVs are there to keep my Cyclone alive a lot longer and keep his army count lower. Because if you don't kill his army count or his unit, they're going to start adding up as a mech player. So that's why it's very important to keep your initial mech alive. And that's kind of how this build here requires you to do in the first place. That's why I don't see a lot of people do this build, because it requires a lot of let's see here. It's very macro intensive, and you really have to make sure you kill every single unit that you see with only limited amount of unit, because mech is not about massing marines and marauders and just 8-click and split. It's not like that. It's about killing as many units as you can with one powerful unit, like the siege tank and the cyclone. So that's kind of what this build is all about. It was very good that I was able to take out the mothership core with my cyclone, which helps my siege tank disrupt his mineral lines and kill a little bit of workers here, and kind of, bring myself back into an economy. Since I was going for a 1-1-1, I did not go for a double expansion like he did. So if I did not do any damage to his mineral line, he's gonna be ahead of economy, and I'm gonna be in deep trouble. So that's one big risk for this 1-1-1 mech build. Of course, you don't have to do it this way. I just love to play aggressively in the early game, because I very dislike to just sit in macro. I don't like that. I like to macro and micro at the same time. Or should I say, I like to macro while attacking at the same time. So this build basically solved the playstyle that I like to play. So the reason I decided to push out is because I know that when I was harassing with my siege tank, I did not see that many stalkers, and I feel safe. And 3 siege tank and 1 liberator plus a couple marine is enough to defend against 7 stalker, as you can see here. He was trying to get close to my siege tank in order to prevent that splash damage, or prevent the siege tank ability from because when you get close to the siege tank can fire. Yeah, so that's what he was trying to do. But because of the new unit called the Liberator, it basically prevents that from happening. It's basically like Broodwar back in those days, where when Terran went against the Protoss, you had to do Vulture, Siege Tank push with SUV, and things like that. Back in Broodwar, it was basically the Vulture mines that was helping the Siege Tank push against the Dragoons and Zealots. The Vulture now doesn't exist in Starcraft, so that's why in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, in my opinion, there's not a lot of people that play mech. But with the Liberator, it kind of substitute the Vulture's mind, because back then Protoss did not want to get close to the siege tank of the Terran because of the mines laying down, because the mines does a lot of damage to like Zealots and Dragoons, and of course it's gonna kill them. And the Liberators serve the same purpose. They do a lot of damage, and the Protoss players does not want to get into that range of the Liberators. So that is what makes this siege tank push here very successful as a Terran player who wants to go mech. Here I don't need to worry about sieging up, because I have enough firepower to take care of the stalker here. And one big issue with this build or this strategy is you can't heal your units. So if you guys notice, I have a couple SCV with me along with my army. It helps my mech units stay in battle for a longer period of time. I also wanted to say, as a mech Terran player, you also want to don't be intimidated by the factor of, oh my god, he has so many units. Don't worry about that. Your mech unit are powerful. as you see earlier, he had a bunch of stalker, and I only had like what 5 siege thing. Of course, I'm gonna lose, right? No. If you know what you're doing, you're not gonna lose. But anyway, I won this game. End up winning the game. I hope you guys learned something today. This was episode 6. I will see you guys in the next episode of Mech vs. All. Peace out, guys.